Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Hoffman, and thanks for being with us tonight.
You might have seen a lot of social media posts claiming that all of these beds are empty, but let me just show you real quick. There are plenty of them that are filled with patients that are fighting for their lives against COVID-19.
We continue to follow the search for missing woman Naomi Irian as we've entered the 8th day of her disappearance. Paiute Pit River Indian Jean Lamar creates art that addresses issues such as Native American stereotypes and the traditions of her ancestors. I'm kind of thinking maybe we need to get a couple of matching green jackets, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, definitely. Maybe not earned, but I think it'll look good.
Ryan, it is still growing. Like you said, check out these flames right now. This is actually just to the east of Grizzly Flats, and that entire town is just devastated.
If you haven't filed your taxes yet, I feel for you, because that clock is seriously ticking. The deadline is tomorrow, so don't forget. It has been a weekend of gun violence with 3 mass shootings in 2 different states. The latest in Pittsburgh, where 2 people died. Sierra Tahoe has been closed all season long. They are having a special 2-day opening event this weekend, so patrons can come check out the recovery efforts that they've already made. Looking at the silver lining, literally, of these clouds coming in, that's just a little bit more moisture that we get in before fire season. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office arrested 2 people who are believed to be involved in a carjacking and shooting that happened last week. Happy early Easter, everyone. Now, this weekend is primarily going to be focused on the hunt of these guys.
And if you don't want to hunt or hide them yourself,
There's a bunch of different Easter egg hunts going on all over town this Saturday and Sunday. And over at Smashing Good Times, they are all about finding ways to release that tension, from axe throwing to the piece de la resistance, the smash room. Carson City Sheriff's Office is looking for your help in identifying suspects in an armed robbery. Around 4 a.m. this morning, deputies responded to the Golden Gate Petroleum on Lampa Lane after 3 people walked in with black masks threatening the cashier with a gun. Another factor that some economists are looking at is the interest rate paid by bonds, which historically is higher the longer the bond term is. You can see the 5-year marker is lower than the 10-year marker. You know, RTC has had a long history of collecting food donations for the annual Share Your Christmas Drive-By Food Drive, and this year is no exception. They hope to stuff this bus filled with non-perishable food items, all to help out those in need right here in our community. Welcome back. Take a look around the world now. The White House says that the phone call between leaders did not produce any serious diplomatic breakthroughs between President Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin. No debate in our household, though. All right, I got her to watch it for the very first time.
Confession.
Just two nights ago.
Never watched it before until 2 nights ago, but I have to say, it is a Christmas movie, and I love Christmas. Sorry, guys.
We got it. It was just before 4 a.m. that police responded to a renowned emergency room after reports of several people suffering from gunshot wounds. You might think going inside or maybe even going inside your vehicle is going to be safe for you. But if your cabin air filter doesn't look like this and instead looks like this, it might actually be more dangerous inside your vehicle. So let's show you how you might be able to change it super easy. Now that you've taken care of the cabin air filter and gotten rid of this nastiness, it's time to take care of your engine air filter. We spoke with healthcare workers, law enforcement, firefighters, and even some city workers who, like Santa Claus, are staying very busy.
this is a big deal, not only for the drivers that were on the picket lines just hours ago, but definitely for the passengers, as this ends the 3rd strike this year alone, marking almost 60 days that Reno has gone without a major transit service. This little robot is actually pretty astounding. Ruby does have sensors all around, making sure that she doesn't bump into anyone, doesn't spill over any drinks. And actually, the owner, Smeet, told me that he has plans to maybe get a little brother or sister for Ruby, already named Tuesday. Covering the story live over at Smee's Alaskan Fish Bar. Brian Hoffman. Brian, back to you.
Yeah, Brian, that is so awesome. And that's a good point, too, because how many times do you see a waiter or a waitress, carrying around a dish with so many things, and it looks like if they drop that, how much trouble that would cause. But this Ruby right here, Ruby's not dropping anything.
Yeah, without a doubt, definitely lightens the load for all of those servers. And we may have some mild temperatures here today, but 175 years ago, the original Donner Rescue Expedition had to trek through 20 feet of snow to reach the survivors of the Donner Party.
An amazing feat. They came up and back 100 miles each way. 40 people ultimately were saved.
To commemorate the 175th anniversary today, a team of 7 historian athletes decided to reenact that journey, which took them from Johnson Ranch near Sacramento all the way to Donner Memorial Park.
To learn more about the Donner Party, the Forlorn Hope, the relief parties, and to be able to follow in their footsteps, having that opportunity is really rare and special.
Bob Crowley, who enacted the part of John Stark, pored over every historical record he could find to get into the mindset of one of the original heroes who volunteered for the mission, turning down a cash reward, saying, quote, "It's just the right thing to do."
He arrived at the pass and found a pool of people sunken 25 feet into the ground. Their fire had burnt down. 2 had died. The 11 that remained, mostly children, were dying.
Records show that while his other partners took 1 child each, Stark carried the 9 remaining children on his back, 2 at a time in short stretches for days back towards safety.
He was already broken down. I mean, he was tired. He had come all this way, 90-some miles to the pass where he found them. But he had the courage and he had the resolve to save them no matter what.
The whole point of this expedition was to remember and bring to light those 7 rescuers who signed up for a suicide mission to save their fellow man.
We tried to shine a new light on the whole Donner story. It's kind of this, tragedy, but there's a lot more heroism and, just great determination to, one, get out of here, to get the relief party started.
I know, Brian, you actually had to move live locations yourself because the flames keep inching closer and closer.
Yeah, Kristen, we actually did get evacuated from right around that Echo Lake Trail area. We could see the lake right there. Flames were going actually to that shore area, and it's an all-familiar scene all across this region just around that town of Myers, just south of. As you can see behind me, spot fires are popping up left and right all around Highway 50, and really firefighters are continuously pushing back containment lines and focusing on structure protection rather than any one point on the front line of a fire.
This fire has shown us to be unpredictable, terrain-driven, weather-driven. It's been very active, very rapid progression at times.
Overnight, firefighters had to issue mandatory evacuation orders for the town of Myers. It was not even under evacuation warnings beforehand, leaving many residents a very short window to get out.
We had almost a 20,000 acreage increase in about a 24-hour period. It was significant.
A little ways south on Highway 50 past Echo Lake, the fire is climbing up slopes of granite, attaching itself to anything and everything that may grow out of the Rocky Mountain faces, which officials say are causing silver dollar-sized embers to rain down.
And these ember casts can travel sometimes up to a mile ahead of the head of the fire. It tells you that there is a risk, and that's why we're evacuating them. This fire can definitely extend, and those communities down there and the people, we want them out of harm's way, and we have a lot of resources in place to start to deal with spot fires if they start to occur.
Chief Wade says that resources actually fighting the fire are pretty low and have requested 25 additional strike teams, meaning upwards of 500 more boots on the ground. Unfortunately, harsh weather conditions and sporadic fire behavior combined with a red flag day are not making it easy for firefighting efforts.
You're feeling the wind gusts as I'm sitting here talking to you. This red flag warning we're in today was coming up around 11. It's definitely starting to manifest.
The amount of smoke and ash in the air has always made it harder for aerial attacks, something that was used heavily yesterday as crews dropped over 150,000 gallons of retardant in water.
We haven't been hearing a lot of air assets going, if any at all, and that's due to the low visibility and the wind conditions. They assess those conditions minute by minute.
Now, the spot fires are actually increasing around us, maybe 50 feet away. I do see some smoke starting to jet out, and the firefighters have actually left this area. They were right beside me, so they're moving on, and like I said, moving those containment lines. Now, another tricky subject right here is cell phone reception, as we did hear reports of a lot of those cell phone towers being burned down, leaving a lot of people unable to use these guys. We also do have CAL FIRE holding a press conference tonight at 5:30, and we will, of course, bring that to you live. Covering Fire Watch Live, Bryan Hoffman, 2 News.